disobedience. Sin is deceptive, and sin is destructive. It destroys. Three things it destroys. It destroyed their partnership. It destroyed their purity. It destroyed their peace. Let me give you a fourth one. And it destroyed their place. It destroyed their partnership, their purity, their peace, and their place. First we find it destroyed their partnership. She was created to be his help meet for him. That is why God made her. God made her to be a help meet for him. And so what was her? Was that to be somebody for him to boss around? Or was that somebody to come alongside, give him advice, help him, talk with him and walk with him and say, he says, sweetheart, what do you think about this over here? Darling, what do you think? What do you think? You think we're dressed in a garden. How far back do you think we got to prune these trees? She says, well, honey, I think we ought to do this. And he says, okay, that sounds good. I don't have anything that tells me different. She says, so why do you think that? And they're in conversation with each other. They're communing together. That's what a help does. A help is not somebody you just say, do this, do that. Somebody that helps is somebody who you have respect for and you listen to.
Right.
She was made to be a help meet for him. Now I say that because it destroyed that partnership. Because what did she do? She bid him to sin. Verse number 6. And she said, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. She said, I'm in sin. I'm going to bring you into my sin. She didn't say it that way, but she gave it to him. She brought him. That's not a help. It destroyed their partnership. Can you trust somebody who is going to drag you into sin intentionally? That is going to give you sin intentionally? That is going to give you something that knows it's going to destroy you intentionally? Would you trust somebody that's going to feed you arsenic intentionally? And you find out about it? All of a sudden you wouldn't trust that person anymore, would you?
No.
She bid him to sin. That destroys the partnership. Because no longer can you trust her. Not only did she bid him to sin, but then he blamed her for his sin. The Bible says, and he did eat. She said, come on and eat this fruit that I got from the tree, I guess. Because he must have known she got it from the tree, because he ate of it, and he was held accountable for it. Therefore, I would say, if you do something wrong and you blame it on somebody else, you think you're going to have a good partnership anymore? How good of a partnership is if one sitting there trying to destroy you, and the other one's over here saying, oh, no, it's not my fault. It's their fault, and you're playing the blame game. That destroys the partnership. Is that not true?
Yes, sir.
I say that because they played that game in verse number 12, and the man said, the woman that thou gavest to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I did eat. God beat her up, destroy her. Don't do me that. Don't hold me accountable. It's her fault. That does not help the partnership. And God made her and him to work together. And you'll find that it continues from there to destroy and their partnership gets to where he or she wants to get back in his good graces, to where he trusts her. And he's over there saying, oh no, I'm just going to tell her what to do. I'm just going to rule over her. She is going to do what I say do. I'm not asking anymore. The last time I said, hey, don't eat that tree, don't even touch it, she came to me and said, it's okay. I touched it and I ate of it, and here it is. She dragged me into sin. There's no relationship left that's of a partnership. And that's why marriage is such a mess today. All you got to do is deceive somebody one little bit. And so people grow, and the next thing you know, they're sitting there, because that's how sin operates. It destroys. It's destructive. It destroyed their partnership. It destroyed their purity. In verse number 7, it says, and the eyes of both were opened, and they knew that they were naked. And they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons. Now God made them pure. They were not thinking bad of each other. They had no thought of impurity in their relationship. Now, marriage is honorable and all, and the bed undefiled. If you don't understand that, you don't need to. I just let it be for Bible. All right? God is for the marriage relationship. But He's not for this gawking relationship of this impurity of thinking that that person's only purpose is that part of the marriage relationship. Because marriage was a partnership. So when everything's pure, that's not what you're thinking partnership. You're thinking togetherness. You're thinking holding hands walking down the streets and on to the rest of this relationship. And all there is a partnership. Not one usurping over the other, or the other usurping over the other. You see how it became impure. God used that. They noticed they were naked. They were impure before God. They covered themselves. They were impure before each other. They covered themselves. They were covering up themselves. They knew they were naked. Now, so we find there's a purity. The purity of the family is destroyed because there's impurity before God, and then there's going to be impurity within your relationship. You ever find it? You ever do this? I don't know. When you find yourself in sin, and you know that you're in sin, and you're covering up your sin from God, that it makes stress in the family relationship too sometimes. Why is that? Because the impurity before God brings impurity in your family relationship. But there's not only a destruction of purity in the family, there's destruction of purity in the field. In verse number 17, he says, and unto Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree, of which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it, cursed is the ground for thy sake, and sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life. Thorns and thistles shall it bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat of the herb of the field. In the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread, till thou return unto the ground. That land was pure. It brought forth thorns and thistles. Everything it brought forth was clean and pure, and wasn't going to harm you, wasn't going to stick to you. But God said, the land is become impure because of you. Sin destroys the purity of the family. It destroys the purity of the field. Because everything you do, everything you touch, starts becoming impure. Your impurity destroys all that's around you. You know, you ever read that verse? The root of bitterness trouble you, and thereby many be defiled. Everybody around you gets defiled because of your bitterness. Same thing's true about your sin. It defiles. It destroys. It destroyed. First of all, their partnership. It destroyed their purity. It destroyed their peace. You'll see in verses 8 through 10. And they heard the voice of God walking in the garden, and Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord amongst the trees of the garden. And the Lord God called unto Adam and said, Where art thou? And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, and I hid myself. Do you see that? He's saying, listen, I was at peace with God before. But my sin, my disobedience has destroyed that peace, and now I've got fear when God shows up. The reason you and I live in fear is because perfect love casts out all fear, because we have a problem with sin. Sin destroyed their peace. It brought fear. Let me say, it brought fear, not only fear before God, but fear of having children. You say, I don't believe that. Well, let's read verse 15. Verse 15. And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed, and it shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. Unto the woman he said, I will give greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. And in sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. You'll notice in sorrow, he said, I'm going to have enmity there. Enmity means there's going to be friction, there's going to be problems. And there's going to be and so she has fear of what am I going to bring my children into? Oh my goodness. Is everything going to be okay? The devil's fighting against me. Sin's fighting against me. The serpent's fighting against me. Sin's fighting against me. Satan's fighting against me. God's even against me. And I'm going to have sorrow. What's going to happen when I'm in my conception? Is it worth it? There's a fear. And then not only a fear there, but a fear in the birth. What's it going to turn out to be? What's it going to turn out? How's it going to turn out? Are they going to grow up and mess up? Are they going to grow up? Is there not a fear? You can do everything perfect, but there's something inside of you. Everything could be messed up. It destroyed. It brought fear. In conception, that word there, sorrow, conception means worry. It brought fear. In sorrow, bringing forth children, it meant there was labor, there's a hardship, a hard time. And then we find it did not just bring fear, but it brought feuding. I want my husband to trust my wisdom, and the husband saying, I can't trust my wife. You'll say, what are you talking about? That's what he says right here. He said, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. I can't trust her. I'm going to tell her what to do. She just does what I say. Everything will be all right. I'm going to be holding my thumb down. We say that's the way rednecks do it. Can I say, that's the way any man who does not trust his wife does it. And if a man's been taught not to trust women, because women will fail you, and that woman, all she's saying is, I can do something. Just trust me. Just trust me. He says, I can't do that. He says he will, but then he doesn't. It's really interesting because you can see it in our society all around us. They won't listen to their wives because she's no longer the help meet for them. Because she messed up back in the garden. And man says, I can't trust women. And the woman says, let me prove myself to you again. And you know what she does? She goes out of her way to try to prove herself. And she does something messed up, trying to prove that she is pretty wise and smart. And guess what happens? He quits trusting her even more. Tell me it doesn't happen, and tell me I'm lying. I've lived there long enough to watch this thing go on. Sin destroyed their partnership, their purity, their peace, and their place. In verse 17 of chapter 3, he said, "Cursed is the ground for thy sake, and in sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life." The place they were at was no longer a place of peace. There was sorrow. They had not just dressed the garden, but now it was all of the toil of their hands to get what they could get out of it. To get what they could get out of the land, it was going to be a hard work, not an enjoyable work. Can I say sin will destroy the place you're at? Sin will destroy. And then there was sorrow, and we find there was separation. In verse 23 it says God moved them out of the garden. God moved them out of the garden. Then my last thought is sin brings death. We go on into chapter 4. You have two boys, Cain and Abel. The woman says, "I've gotten a man from the Lord." She said, "God's given me a gift, a possession." Somebody. Guess what? She was saying, "Oh, all the fears that I had are gone." But she found out. You never know what's going to happen down the road. You never know. Because we know that Cain slew his brother Abel. Why? Even though children are the heritage of the Lord, the fruit of the womb is his reward. That's what the Bible says. So she was right. She had gotten a man from the Lord. God gives children. But what she did not realize is that God had said he'll bring them forth in sorrow. They'll come. Why? Because you'll be worried all the days of your life. She forgot to be thinking, "Oh God, take care of us, be gracious to us. Forgive us for our sin. Forgive us for being what we did. And Lord, please let this child that you've given to me be given back to you." You know what this child grew up to do? This child that was given her by God was not given back to the Lord. As far as we can see. And he ended up not serving the Lord. He did just like his dad had become. A tiller of the field. And then slew his brother. Sin brings death. Sin is a hard thing. Now let me give you two good thoughts here. Number one, there's an answer for sin. And we'll find it. We'll find that Abel had a sacrifice that was acceptable before God. He slew one of the lambs before God. He made a blood sacrifice. And I told you, everything we got to look back to Christ. All of these things are showing us how sin destroys. How sin does this. But God ended up that Abel made a sacrifice before God of a lamb. Oh, can I say it was a firstling? Oh, can I say it was without blemish and without spot? It was a picture of who? the Lord Jesus Christ, the only Lamb without blemish and without spot. The only sacrifice, blood sacrifice, that's acceptable. And God said, it's accepted. See, all these things, He showed the destruction of sin. Showed it all. But then you come to the Savior is a delight. Oh, and sin brings us, if we get the right attitude about it and realize what it does, to the place of deliverance. Because it brings us to the place where we say, I can't do my own works. You can't get blood from eternity, no matter how hard you try. If you could, then Jesus surely would not have bled and died. Oh. Cain tried to get blood from his turners. Abel said, the only sacrifice of God is something God made. Because I didn't make it. He didn't make those sheep. All I did was watch him grow up. He didn't produce. God provided the grass for him. He just grew up. And he tried to protect him the best he could. Because that's what you do. But he sacrificed that sacrifice. He said, God, what you gave me, I give you. That's what Christ did. God gave us Christ. He said, you know what? He's yours. I'll take him that you gave me to be for mine. I'll take him for my sacrifice. Cain said, no way. I'll make my own sacrifice. I worked hard for this. I worked hard. I tilled the ground. I worked hard to make this sacrifice. And God said that's not acceptable. It's not a blood sacrifice. The life of the flesh is in the blood. And God said He'd take that for an atonement for sin. He said it has to be blood. And God made Jesus Christ the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. Blood sacrifice. You see how this all fits together? The rules all apply. We're building upon the fact that man made choices. And He's made them to God. Father, I pray that you